Okay, no light of this episode, but welcome back to the Vintage Habits Podcast, aka the best fashion podcast in the world, where we discuss a variety of topics from fashion to culture to music and all those things alike. Today, we're going to be talking about another fashion brand, fashion figure. Today, we're talking about Tommy Hilfiger, man. So Tommy Hilfiger, was a huge fashion designer and still is a huge fashion designer till this day. Very inspirational. People talk about his brand and music all the time, from artists as Lil Uzi Vert, from Playboy Cardi. So many artists talk about Tommy Hilfiger still to this day. But at one point, one of the most hated people in fashion, and here is why. So Tommy Hilfiger was kind of always interested in fashion at a young age. It really began in high school when he opened his first store in 1969. The store was called People's Place, and it was based in New York. And the store was doing well, gaining lots of popularity. I mean, obviously it was his hometown, so he had a lot of support, from people. And at this store, they really just sold your basic stuff: denim jeans, shirts, belts here and there. The store was pretty simple. It was nothing too crazy. A lot of the wear was just kind of like simple American wear, nothing too high fashion-y. But you wouldn't really expect this because this was his first store, and he was just coming out of high school, maybe still even in high school when he created this store. So after a couple of years, the store started to gain lots of popularity, started to grow a lot. He started to make some money off the store. He decided to go into a career in fashion design. In 1985, he launched the Tommy Hilfiger brand. Tommy Hilfiger collection featured menswear, women's wear, kids wear, men's jeans specifically were his main thing. He sold her fragrances, bodywear, footwear, and sportswear. To say at this point, Tommy Hilfiger was pretty successful as a fashion designer. He had already kind of had his name made in the industry at this point. He's got his brand, it's popping off. He's got all these lines and collections. He's making all these clothes for very specific, broad audiences. He started to get awards at this point, get mentioned in, the fashion industry. Everything's going pretty well up until 1996. So in 1996, a rumor came out that Tommy Hilfiger stated that his clothes were not for minorities. And once this spread the media, it really kind of just went into a fire. It didn't damage the business as much as it damaged a lot of the people who wore his clothes. And it really hurt his following in the hip hop industry at that time. And for a lot of time, a lot of people thought it was true, but it was never confirmed that Tommy Hilfiger actually said these things. And it's just crazy to think about how a rumor can really just change your perspective on a lot of people. When I was a kid, I first heard about Tommy Hilfiger, and then my parents would tell me, they would be like, oh, he's racist or whatever. And I actually had to dig in for myself and find out that it was just a rumor. But for people who don't know, that's just messed up. There are people out there that think Tommy Hilfiger's racist. Now, I'm not saying he's not racist. He could be. But those were just rumors that he stated. Until this day, so many people dislike him. And at one point, I disliked him. I didn't like Tommy Hilfiger. I would hear him in all these rap songs and stuff, and I'd be like, why do people like Tommy Hilfiger? And then recently, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to see what all this is about. Pretty much what happened is I think he was on the Oprah show, and Oprah said something about him making those comments, pretty much just throwing him under the bus. And then he refuted those comments a couple of years later, saying, he never said those things. And there was no evidence of him saying it. So that's why I believe Tommy Hilfiger. But like I said, it really just did hurt him in the hip hop community for a long time. I mean, even back in 1996, I wouldn't say the cancel culture was as heavy as it is today, but people were still getting shut down for certain things that they were saying. But besides that, Tommy Hilfiger hasn't really ran into a lot of drama, I feel in those past couple of years. He's really just stuck to being a fashion brand company, just like anybody else. What I did find a little bit odd was that in a lot of the Tommy Hilfiger ads that I watched, it was an odd amount of diversity. It just seemed like he was going out of his way to add more diverse people in his ads. It wasn't natural. You know what I mean? It wasn't naturally diverse. I don't know if that makes sense or not. What I'm saying is when I was watching the ads, it just didn't really seem real. It was a real diversity. It just seemed fake almost. That was the only thing I really realized about that. Besides that, you know, Tommy Hilfiger is still a solid brand. I love a lot of their jeans. A lot of their runway collections are pretty fire. You should check out some of their pieces. Another reason I like Tommy Hilfiger is just because with his runway pieces and a lot of his pieces, you know, he doesn't really try to add too much complexity. A lot of brands can get lost in the sauce of like fashion and art and try to do way too much and be way too experimental. And some companies will just make things, hence knowing people will pay for them. For example, the Balenciaga trash bag. But I feel like with Tommy Hilfiger, you know, he stuck to his lane for most of the part. He hasn't really made anything crazy. You know, you can tell he definitely puts time and effort into his pieces. He sticks to his lane, doesn't stretch too far out. I'm gonna talk about this piece right here first. I was looking through his runway collection. This girl has kind of like a blue red striped sweater with some green sleeves, it looks like, green gloves, a bag, and some high boots. I don't know, I just really like this piece. I feel like it's pretty simple, very fashionable. Color blocking is solid. I like the way it fits on the model. I'm not saying it's a sweater I would buy indefinitely, but you know, it looks pretty good on this person. I also like the use of the gloves. I feel like you don't see that a lot in fashion, or just people wearing gloves in general. I think that would be kind of weird though if you just kind of wore like gloves like out every day. But you know, obviously this is a fashion show. It's a bit more different. I love the bag as well. So yeah, solid. I give it a 8.5 out of 10. Next piece that we're going to move on to is this other piece that I saw on this runway. I don't know, I just kind of like this coat. I love the colors. Kind of looks like she always has these ice skating shoes on too. It looks like a scarf wrapped into this trench coat, winter coat type vibes. Like I said, main thing I like about this fit is just the colors. Fits on the model pretty well as far as the shoulders and width goes. Like I said, with Tommy Hilfiger, a lot of this stuff's not too complex, man. That's what I like. He just kind of sticks to the simple stuff, what he's known for. I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. Not something I would wear, but it looks good on the runway. And all right, man, that's another quick episode for y'all. Let me know what you guys want in the next episode. I kind of like this video, you know, just breaking down different Tommy Hilfiger, why he was hated, and just things of that nature. Please let me know what you guys want for the next video. I'm literally down to do anything fashion, music, or culture topics. Maybe in one video I even talk about Kanye West, man. But that's the end of this video. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next episode.